Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy New Year. How are you guys doing?
Hello, Aziz. How are you? Happy New Year to you too.
I'm fine. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Aziz. Happy New Year,
Happy
everyone.
New Year, Aziz.
Happy New
Happy.
Year.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you guys had a nice New Year and you're ready for 2025. I really don't like my brother was telling me, New Year just helps people reset, and I agree with that. But I just kind of see it as, you guys are already doing what you're already working towards your goals from last year. So like the next day shouldn't make a difference. You should just continue doing what you've been doing. So, but but I feel excited. I'm ready. But it feels like a does feel like a new day, even though I don't want to say it like that.
It is a new day. I mean, sometimes it can actually be very distracting. The
Hmm.
holiday
Yeah,
period,
yeah,
just take too
yeah.
much time off, and you're just wanting to get back into what you were doing before, and blah blah blah, and yeah. I mean, it's 2005, so here we
Yeah,
go again.
during the break, the kids are out of school, and it gave me time to do like all the companies are not, you know, fully at capacity, not really working. It gave me time to do a couple of projects. So, I think it was okay. I think it was okay.
Yeah. So I pray it's a good year for all of us. We achieve all the goals we set out to achieve this year. So
Right.
um and I'm actually have planning on I want to create, I have an idea because I want to start recording my videos back. So I want to create a roadmap of things that you guys should know. So basically, things, whether you are a beginner or you are at the end of your project, it will be like a playlist. It will be a playlist of different things. It will be things you can always go back to and watch. So it will be a roadmap of things you should know. And I think the first one I want to start with is just starting with your own computer, setting up your own computer, which is just understanding the tools you have, the tools you need to install on your computer and how to install them. Um, Understanding things like for the tools, like how to install. A lot of you guys have done it already, but understanding things like on how to install Terraform, Docker, um, AWS CLI, things like that. Then also understanding how to configure AWS CLI on your computer so that way you can run your CLI command. Understanding how to create SSH keys. So anything that has to do with computer setup, that's where we are going to start on the roadmap. Then from there, we'll move to creating a VPC. So in other projects where I've done like the VPC and the application. So in this roadmap, it will just be setting up your computer, creating a VPC, then from there, how to deploy different applications in your VPC. So we'll just keep going that way. So I want to break it down in that way. So that way you guys understand. Because once you start work, those are really the things you are going to be doing. The first thing is you have to set up your computer. They may have documentation, they may not have documentation. They'll just tell you you need Git, you need even if they have an instruction where you need to clone something, they are not going to explain to you how to clone a repository or how to install Git. So you need to understand those things. So I all the little things that I feel like makes the big knowledge, those are the things that I want to
Yeah.
share this year. Uh for
Is it
example,
possible? Sorry, before
go
we
ahead.
go on, is it possible I can make a suggestion as well?
Yeah, sure.
Is it also possible that we can go through like real world scenarios? Like when you have like a project that you have to do, your thought process. I mean, how do you interpret that project into your deliverables? I mean, how do you go from one step to the next step to the next step? you know, like I was just watching your technical interview thing that you did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was such a brilliant way of showing people how to actually think about how to solve those because like they just gave you a scenario, they gave you an objective that you had to do,
Mm-hmm.
and how you actually went through that, you know, and thought about, okay, because that, to me, that's the most important thing. It's the way that you think about the the project that you have to do. I mean, how do you go about it? How do you, you know, we have to get our minds thinking in that way. How do you go and look it up? How do you, obviously you've got the basics of how to set up an AWS environment, but then
Mm-hmm.
how then do you go and do the other things? You know, thinking about the question, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
and working through the question. You know, that to me is very, very important.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So that's a good suggestion. So maybe once we pass this setting up our computer and because I really want you guys to have a solid understanding on those basic things.
Mm.
You shouldn't be advanced and not understand those things. Like especially when it comes to the AWS CLI and how to configure your user's profile on your computer so you can run CLI commands. You should understand that because you can't work professionally if you don't understand how that works because they at work you don't have access to the management console to go and click and create things. You only have access to the management console to view what is there. So if you want to create anything, you'll be doing it most likely programmatically, which is your company will give you some type of you have access, right? Your company will give you it wouldn't be you will have your access key and secret access key, but it wouldn't be like a permanent one that we use. It would just be something, it would be exactly the same, but this goes away maybe after 60 minutes or whatever time your company has put on it. So you need to understand how to configure that on your computer. And if you are trying to run a CLI command and you get an error, understanding how to troubleshoot it, where to go look. So that is one of the places where I want to start. Then I agree with you, Alex. When we get to the project part, instead of telling you guys that we are deploying a Node.js app, for example, I would give you guys kind of like how I did the homework assignment. I will give you guys in requirement of something that needs to be done, similar
Mm.
to how we do it at work. And you guys just have to figure, like, think your way through the research process first and to understand how you are going to solve it. And some of the stuff I'll be sharing will also be things that I'm currently working out on at work. So if I work on something, I'll share with you guys. We'll do it.
Yeah.
I will give you guys an assignment on that to go work on too. So like for example, the one that I showed you guys, where I had to create a Lambda function that removes certain colon from a CSV file. And once it removes the colon, it moves it into a different folder in the S3 bucket. So something like that is something you guys can work on. That's actually something I worked on at work. So
Mm.
yeah. So as I work on different things at work, I'll definitely be sharing it with you guys.
Yeah, I also like the instructions that you had, that you said, all right, create your list of instructions for doing stuff, you know. So rather than you showing us the videos on how to do it, and the videos are helpful, don't get me wrong, you know what I mean, I prefer the instructions because then I'm doing it myself. Yes, I'm working through the instructions that you've given me, but I'm doing it myself, and then by doing it, I understand it more rather than just
Mm-hmm.
following the video. Because when you follow the video, you tend to be a little bit lazy. You're not actually, no matter how much you try, you're still just following the video. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? But if
Mm-hmm.
it's written instructions, and you know, like you said, even you yourself, you actually write them down so that you
Mm-hmm.
go back to it and reference it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
when you have those kind of projects that you want to share with us, yes, we discuss it, but me personally, I don't even want the video. I just want us to go through the instructions,
Mm-hmm.
and then when we come back the following week, when we've done it, then we can then tell you, okay, this is when I was doing it, this is what I found, and this is how I couldn't get through this. And then you can then walk us through that.
Yes, I agree. I agree. So I think that's once you guys get through the initial projects, I think that's the next step of if you guys still want to stick around of to create other projects, I think that's the next step too, is instead of giving you the video, just giving you the requirements and you have to figure out how to solve it. So one of my students is actually doing like a interview right now. And one of the take-home tests they gave him is to deploy a Node.js application on a Docker container. They didn't even want, obviously they want him to deploy it, but they want him to write the Docker file. Obviously the Docker file has to work through. So in order for him to know that his Docker file is working, he has to deploy it. So pretty much they want him to deploy a Node.js app. And also they want him, as a bonus, they said it's just a simple Node.js app. It doesn't, he's not required to code the app himself. He just, which is exactly what I'm telling you guys. Like, the coding part, they understand that that's not your job. They probably have a software engineer that does the coding. So he has to, from his research, and that's all they gave him, just the requirements. So when he reached out to me, he said that he wants to deploy this Node.js app. How can he start? So I gave him the pointer. At some point, he was also leaning on maybe I should work on it for him. That's also an option. But I said if I work on it, I was going to charge him $500 for it. So he said he can't pay it because it's too much. I was like, understandable. But the reason why I'm doing it that way is because, again, I always said that once I show you guys the initial project, those are meant to enlighten you guys. And by the time you are done with that project, you should be able to pick up new projects on your own and work your way through it. That is the only way you'll get to the next step. Because at that point, I want to be hands. I want to be. I don't want to have my hands on what you are doing, but we can discuss things as if we are colleagues and bounce ideas of each other that you can use to complete your project. So I don't want to have to explain to you how to set up your CLI at that point. So, and he ended up doing it by himself. So he went from not even knowing how to start to, when I told him, okay, he said, this is too much. If you do it for me, I'll just do it myself. And he did it himself. So I made it cheap and all that stuff. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it for you. Then I'm kind of like robbing him of that potential of going to the next level by struggling through it just to learn, because then I also took it as a challenge because I haven't done a Node.js app before. I haven't deployed it in AWS before. So I looked for an application and I was able to deploy it. It took me about a week, troubleshooting through everything, run into issues here and there, but I was able to deploy it too. And I think at some point, once we get through all the initial stuff, that's one of the things we'll do. I'll share the application with you guys. That'll be one of the things we'll deploy.
Sounds
So
good.
yeah, so maybe hopefully next week we'll start. I want to start posting my videos back, but then those videos I'll just have you guys watch it and understand the things that I'll have a list of things that I want you guys to understand. Then once everyone is ready, we can get to the requirement part where we'll look for like a small project to do that. I'll give you guys the requirement and we'll work on it. All right, cool.
Cool.
All right. Okay, so other than that, does anyone have anything that you want me to help you troubleshoot today?
Not really. I just before we went on the break, we did something with I don't know if it was Mahavan, and he was talking about the 503 error, right?
Yeah.
You were saying something about a 503 error because I went back to try. I think I actually have issues with my AWS account because I'm having issues with them. So that's why I can't even show it right now. But I did come up with a 503 error. I remember you saying that if you get a 503 error, you just needed to go back and go have a look at something else. Because when I went back into it, I saw that my auto scale wasn't scaling. I didn't see any provision. I didn't see any instances being provisioned. You know what I mean? But when I set it up, because I was doing a Terraform project, it actually said everything was done, but I couldn't actually find an auto scaling service running.
Okay. So that means if you can't find auto scaling group running, then it probably means that there's probably just a misconfiguration somewhere in your Terraform code. So when you're ready, we can look at it. But the one we were working on with Matt was a 302 error.
Oh,
That's the one. Yeah, that was a 302 error. So that's the one I said when you get that, it's not really an error. You just need to add that code to your success code for your target group and it will work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think a 503 error might be?
Let me look it up real quick. Make sure I'm sharing the right thing.
Yeah, it means the server is not able to handle requests.
Yeah, so it's so service unavailable. So that means you misconfigured something on your server. So whatever your application, the application you are trying to deploy, is the server is not able to serve those web files. It could be just that your web files are not where they need to be. It could be that your environment file, your env file, does not have the credentials that it needs to connect to RDS. It could be anything. So from that point, you would have to SSH into the server, then start checking those things. First, anytime I get any type of error on my server like that, the first thing I do is I SSH into my server. Then I'm going to check the HTML directory for the PHP application. Check whether my web files is there. Then the next thing I'll do is check the env file, make sure my RDS credentials is there. So from what I found, those are typically the two things that always cause it.
Okay.
And if you check those two things and that work, those two things are there. Another thing that can cause it is during your installation, maybe there is a requirement that your server, your application needs. For example, you need to install PHP and some PHP extension. Maybe during the installation, one of those extensions that is required, you missed it. So those are the things that I've found that usually cause those type of error.
Okay, so I should check my RDS and check my.
No, start with your server. So check your
server.
In your HTML directory. Check whether your web files are there. Then how your server connects to your RDS is through the env. Your application, how it connects to the RDS is using the env file. Check that env file. Make sure that your credentials are there and the credentials is right.
Okay.
Also, make sure this is going to be one of the projects we'll work on. Maybe it will be a quick CLI command we can run to query if it's possible to query an RDS database so that we will know whether our the SQL file we migrated into the RDS is there. So check that to make sure that you've also migrated your SQL file for your database into your RDS. Those are some of the things that can cause that error.
Okay.
Yes, it's morning.
Good morning.
Stan, Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year.
Hey, do you still do like initially like I had like a personal question or something that I was working on. Sometimes it comes up during the week, and sometimes we feel like, it's a long wait till the weekend. Do you still like respond to like because I remember I sent you a message sometime about a week ago. Do you still do like respond to
Yes, I
us?
do.
Say that again?
Yes, I do.
Because I think I sent a message on the 21st because I wanted to, chat about a couple of stuff, but I never heard back from you. So I was wondering if it's something that you still do.
Yeah, so sometimes, sometimes it might take me time to get to the message, but usually if I'm online and I see it, I met with someone yesterday, so it's something I still do.
But this was
So,
something.
but then it's also something, if it's something you can, if it's something that you can post in the channel, you can also post it there, so that other people can see it and respond to it.
I was trying to get a sense of like a couple of things that I had questions on, and because initially I would reach out to Wahab as well, but I haven't heard from you in a while as well, Wahab.
Yeah, Wahab is pretty much done with his project, so he's probably and at this point here we just discuss help people troubleshoot. So I'm pretty sure he's probably moved on to working on other things. So I'm sure when he's free, he'll be back, which is very common. Once people get all the knowledge they need, they and that's what I expect too. So you guys should always also find other resources that help you guys advance, because it's not like I teach you guys all the basics that you need to know and get you to a point, but once you get to that point and you want to work on other similar type of projects, then you can feel free to use other resources.
Okay, and also when you started, you were talking about getting to get a feel for like how the whole process would work when you start doing a lot of stuff. I was gonna ask if it makes sense to also incorporate how ChatGPT can help in us making life easy for ourselves while we're doing these projects as well into what you're planning on doing for this year.
Yeah, sure, I can add it to it. So it might just be when we work on a project, if we have any issue, then we'll use ChatGPT to solve it. We'll use ChatGPT to help, right? So there isn't like any specific thing there's like general things I can show you guys on how I use ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is just very specific to it is very specific to the problem you are having. So you have to ask a specific question. So yeah, I'm saying I can just give you guys one general way of asking ChatGPT, because the way you may ask a question for a troubleshooting, uh, one troubleshooting issue may be different from another. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
yes, for sure, once we start the project, I'll show you guys how I use ChatGPT to solve problem.
Yeah,
But
within that
actually,
specific project, yes. I know it's going to be, the prompts are going to be different for sure. Whatever is going
yeah.
to be, it's going
Mm-hmm.
to be different. It's just that within what we'll be working on at that time, you'll be like, okay, yeah, within this project, you can get basic assistance. So you can ask a couple of prompts to see how you can go about this. Or if something like this was to go wrong,
Yeah.
these are kind of like the troubleshooting steps, and this is how ChatGPT can help.
Yeah.
And also coming back to the weekly thing within the week, yeah, once I post something out there or ask someone to see if they could be reached, it's just something that, it comes up not on a daily basis. It will just happen that you will just need something, and probably I have like personal questions to ask you. Initially, I would send you a text, but I noticed even with that, it's hard to get hold of you. So I was just trying to get a sense of like how I can go about that, or if you have someone in the team as well that you know that I can reach out to at this point.
Yeah, sure. Um, this year I should be online a lot more. So if you guys have any questions, just um, feel free to reach out to me. That's fine. I'll just try to be um much more responsive this time. So, but then another thing is also that I know since a lot of people's access has expired, I haven't really removed people from Slack and all that stuff, right? So I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to go about it, you know. But so my goal, what I sometimes and I'm not saying this is specific to you, but I'm still trying to figure out how to do the consulting part, because I don't want someone to reach out to me on something they can solve themselves, or something that they can just do a quick research on, and they can get the answer, right? So, but if it's definitely something that someone needs to discuss something with me about, needed, like one of my students that had the interview, and he wants to reach out to me about, look at this requirement they gave me. How do you suggest how to start? Those type of questions, I don't mind those ones, but I don't want someone to, especially if I have a video on how to configure AWS CLI. I'm just using that for an example. And you missed that, someone missed that, and they asked me to join the meeting to show them something that's already in the video. So that, as I'm still trying to figure out how to walk that part, because if I'm showing someone how to do something that they can learn themselves by just following the example, I'm kind of hurting their progress of learning. So
Yeah.
so
To be,
as
to, yeah,
a
I
certain
understand what you're
point,
saying.
this is because my program is like 6 months to a year. Sometimes when people's access is over, and they say, okay, I need more access, I even renew the access and give them access, right?
Like in
So, but
this, okay, right.
at certain point, so what I'm trying to say is, at certain point, if you've been here for a while, and I also expect people to do what they have to do. So that way, that takes away some of those pressure away from me, and I can focus on other people that are just beginning and coming up, that needs the help. So I don't want someone to be here um for 6 months to a year, and I'm still helping them do some of the stuff that uh I feel like they should know. So I'm
So
still
like the
trying to
reason,
figure out that area.
okay,
You
like the
have to
reason why I
have,
was reaching out is mainly like what it's I'm trying to get into like the mentoring part of it, the mentoring piece. I've got an interview that's coming up, so I was looking out for someone that, hey, we can go through the job description, some of the stuff that's on there. It's not like asking for,
okay.
something that's actually on there. No, that would make
Yeah.
sense. I have a job interview that's coming up, so I got reached out to
Yeah.
by a recruiter, and they
Mm-hmm.
sent me the job description. So I wanted to talk to someone about it. And also from time to time, I'm looking for someone that I can, reach out to and be able to say, hey, this is what I'm doing, man. Like the last time I reached out to Titus as well, but I think he was busy as well, and he couldn't get back to me. So, but my main reason is just so I talk to someone who's been doing what I'm trying to do, get a sense, because I've been applying to jobs and they've been reaching out back to me. So I just want that mentoring piece of like, hey, this is the job description. Let's talk about it. What needs to be done, what you can do. That's the type of thing I'm looking
Yeah,
for.
sure. I understand. So if it's like something that has to do with an interview, just if you send me the personal message and I haven't responded, just send me a reminder in the group thing, and let me know it is urgent, and I can I'll respond to it.
Daniel, Happy New Year again. Sorry about that. I forgot to call you immediately, but I tried to call you the next day. I called a couple of wrong numbers. I was not able to, but I'll send you my number and my email, and I'm always available. You can always ping me.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I'm looking for, man. At this point, it's just so I can talk to someone that's actually doing what I'm trying to do, and from time to time, just ask questions, talk about it, what it's like, some of the stuff that I'm going through.
And yeah, I'll send you my email and my phone number. I'll pick it from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Aziz.
No problem. Thank you,
Yes,
Titus.
Aziz.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, so thank you so much for the troubleshooting as far as the CIC, the GitHub Actions is concerned. So I was able to get the project done. So, and then I know when it's come to Terraform, it's just Terraform destroy, we take care of everything. But on the video, I didn't see you showing us how to go about destroying those services that we have already used on as far as the GitHub Actions project is concerned. So my question is, how do you think I should go about it? Because if I on line 11, right, if I change it from apply to destroy, I could see that, of course, there are some of those, such as NAT Gateway, is no longer available. But I still have some of these services that are still there. So is this something that I'm going to get rid of or destroy manually? So that is my question.
What it should destroy all your service. What service is still there?
Okay, so once I run it, it's going to destroy all the services, you said?
Yes, it should.
Okay, maybe I didn't really pay attention very well, but
So
I'm going to
so
try it again. All right, sorry. During the holiday when I finished it, I completed it and I used the custom domain name and I could see, the application was well, you know, taken care of.
yeah.
So I wrote some notes and screenshot what have you. And then I changed it because I can't have all of them just like that. So I changed it to destroy. So as soon as I do that, I went back to my AWS console and I could see that there is no more NAT gateway. There is this other, I don't know the name, I keep mixing it up. Like when we have EC2 and then we ended up to terminate it because we do have the image, right? In that case, will that incur any money or has to manually destroy that? That is another typical example of, what I'm trying to figure out if by running destroy, we take care of that as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
maybe I should just destroy it right now. And then when I do, I will take my time and go through it. And if I have any question, then I will let you know. Because I don't want to hold on. I don't want to hold
no,
on.
it's fine. You're not holding up anything.
Okay.
I mean, the pipeline takes care of all the resource we created. So there's nothing there that you have to manually destroy. So
Oh, okay.
so this is the pipeline. We have our AWS infrastructure in the IAC. That creates your VPC, security group, RDS, NAT gateway,
Yes, okay.
application load balancer, auto scaling group, everything, your ECS service, everything. So when you run Terraform destroy, just like when you did this project with Terraform, when you did this project with Terraform, if you run Terraform destroy, it removes everything that Terraform creates. So this takes care of majority, pretty much 95% of your resources. The only thing we did is we created a self-hosted runner that we use to migrate our data into the RDS database, right?
Okay.
And no, we created a self-hosted runner to build our Docker image as well, right? So also in our pipeline, we have a job there that will stop that runner once it is done. So you can see here, there's a job to start the EC2.
Oh, you said I can see. Are you sharing your screen or I'm not seeing, or you're just saying?
Can you guys see my screen? I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we can see your screen. I can see your screen.
Let me see what I'm doing wrong. Okay. All right, I can see.
Okay. So what I was explaining before is in our pipeline, in the IAC, it creates all the AWS infrastructure resource we need.
Yes.
When you add Terraform destroy, when you add
Somewhere in
destroy,
line 11 or something, yeah, like that.
when you add destroy here,
Uh-huh.
it is going to remove all this resource.
Okay.
Then the only other thing is the self-hosted runner we created, right? So we have a job here that starts that EC2 instance that we will use to build our Docker image. And once we build our Docker image, we have another job here that is stopping the EC2 instance.
Okay. Okay.
So the pipeline takes care of that too. And this will automatically run no matter this runs when you commit your changes to your GitHub actions to GitHub and GitHub actions run, then this job runs to remove that. So that project actually removes 100% of everything we create.
Oh, okay.
The only thing that will be there is the image we push to your ECR, which is fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is just the only aspect. I wasn't too sure. I was like, should I just, but so that will not incur anything, right?
No.
Okay.
You mean having the a Docker image? You mean having your Docker
Yes,
image?
correct.
No, that you don't get charged for those.
Okay.
I mean, AWS charge you, but you will have to have probably millions of image for you to get charged. I mean, we just one image, you're not going to get any charge for those.
Okay. But having said that though, what is the best practice? Should I still leave it or I should just manually, get rid of it? I mean, what's the best practice? I'm just curious.
Leave it. You don't need to delete it. So anything, any type of resource that you guys worked on, whether something where we use our S3 bucket, we create a repository and store our image in the repository, leave those things because that is your example of when you worked on that project and it worked. You don't want to delete it and later on, because let's say you didn't work on this project for a while, I guarantee you're going to forget everything you did. Because even me, I have to go back and watch the videos to understand some of the stuff we did if I haven't worked on it in a while.
Okay.
So you want to, so when you come back and working on it, right, you want to, at least you are sure that that image you have there, let's say you run into some type of issue.
Okay.
You can confirm that the image is not the issue because the last time you deployed it, the image works.
Yeah.
So I don't remove anything. My Docker image, I leave them there. Whatever I worked on in the project, the S3 bucket, I leave them there. If I have a Docker file that works, I leave them there. Go ahead, Titus, and say something.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to say, sometimes I know we are worried about cost, but things in S3 doesn't really cost that much. I have ton of information. I even put a lot of my pictures and things like that. Before they even have to charge you $1, you need a lot of information in there. Same wise with ECR. So those are things less than $1. You have point something cents and things that you don't really, it wouldn't really cost you anything.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Titus. At one point, I've been a victim of not gateway, and I think I incurred $180 only. So, of course, I reached out to them and they gave me warning. So, so ever since then, I kind of get, very, very mindful to make sure that I'm not repeating any mistake. Of course, looking at the command that I run to destroy it, it took care of the NAT gateway and most of the Terraform, files that is on this directory, as you said. But thank you anyway. Good to know.
Yeah, so there shouldn't be, this project 100% removes everything.
Yeah, because 20 minutes before our Zoom meeting, I quickly just
Sometimes
changed it.
you
Yeah,
you might have created something when you are troubleshooting something and you forget and things like that. It happens. Then you're thinking the only thing you have in there is the one that Terraform needs to take care of, which is not true. So
Yeah. So the only way, what Titus is saying is the only way Terraform is not going to remove some of these resources. For example, let's say you launch another EC2 in your VPC that is not part of your Terraform configuration, then when Terraform is removing all the resource, Terraform will be unable to delete the VPC, because in AWS, you can't delete a VPC until you have removed all the resources
All
in the VPC.
other component of VPC that resides in the, yeah, that's true.
So if you create something outside of Terraform in your
Uh-huh.
VPC, you will have to manually remove it before your before Terraform can delete all the resources it created. The only other thing in this project, like I said, is our self-hosted runner. And before our pipeline even ends, we remove it already. We have a job that remove it, which is this job.
Stop server, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Aziz. Thank you so much.
No problem. Matt,
Hello,
can you
Aziz.
go ahead?
Yeah, I will share the screen.
Okay, sure.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can.
All right. So I was working on that third project, which is deploying dynamic web app on AWS. So in there, I was able to migrate my S3 script to the RDS instance. So I was currently in the stage where we installed the EC2 instance. So in there, I have a small doubt so when we created the target group, right? So before that, it after it created, it says unhealthy, but I could not able to find out any details like it actually just it mentioned health checks failed, and am currently able to do until this point. So until I was able to install the PHP, connect to the SQL, and get the data from the S3 bucket, and create an HTML folder, unzip it, and it works fine. So only the remaining thing is I have to update the VI file and to restart it. So just wanted to double check. So if I run this command right now, let me.
Hold on. So your target group. So what was the error you were showing me? The target group error you were showing me now. So
Yeah,
this is
but
the
it says unhealthy, but it doesn't mention anything like that. It mentioned health checks failed. I don't know why it is saying like that. So it doesn't mention any 301 or 302 or anything like that. So is okay, if in the VI script we will mention the ALB DNS name, right? So it will access it, and if it's unhealthy, it won't work, I guess. So that's what I wanted to clarify. So before doing that thing.
Sure. So this same EC2 instance that you are installing your application on is the same one that is in your target group, right?
Yeah, I added my now one instance only currently running. So this web server AC1, and I have attached to my target group actually. So we can show it.
So because you haven't finished installing your website, yes, it is going to fail. It's going to fail the type.
So that's why it's showing as unhealthy, right now.
Yes, because
right.
you haven't updated your env file to connect your application to the RDS database.
So I just need So I will just quickly edit these changes. So we have to here change our app URL to the ALB DNS name, if I'm not wrong. So this has to be the name from here. No, right? So we have to add the HTTP at the beginning, I guess. Then I had to update these things. So the DB host would be my RDS endpoint, right?
Correct.
All right. And I will change my database name. And All right. So now I have to press escape and
Escape.
yeah, I have pressed escape. Yeah,
No.
wait. Colon WQ exclamation enter. Right?
Wait. You type 2 colons. You only need one.
Okay, so
So
shall I go it
catch
again?
your env file again and see if what you did actually worked.
Yeah, the details got updated actually, but
Okay, it did. Yeah, but I
it
always
did
use
right.
I always use one colon, but I
One
guess
column.
two colon works too. So
So now the remaining part is only to restart and check whether my instance is healthy. Right? So
it's not gonna be healthy because you just changed. Don't worry about your instance being healthy until you finish all the installation thing you need to do. So anytime you update that configuration,
yeah.
anytime you update a file on your EC2, you have to restart it. Then when you restart it, then you can go and check whether
So now I have to like just copy this and check whether this is working or not, right?
yes, first make sure your instance is showing up healthy. Because if it is, well, if you copy that and you are able to access it, it means your instance is healthy. So, I mean, since you just did that, it might take a while. It might take a couple of seconds to refresh. Let's see.
Here now it's showing 403.
All right, so
403.
403. So you can see now that you configured it, it actually has an error code, right? So
Yeah.
that has to do with some type of access issue. It might still just take time because you just finished doing all that stuff. Give it time. It might probably change again. So what I always do
I
is,
will, yeah.
So whenever you are installing your stuff, finish the installation before you um yeah, you already done at this point. So finish the installation before you check that. So just give it time. It might change to healthy. And if it doesn't change, then maybe there's an issue somewhere we have to look at. Click refresh, let's see.
So 403 means usually something like it's configuring something. Yeah.
It's like an access deny error. But it might just be because your Starbar is restarting because you did all that stuff at the end. So
do I need to restart it again or like just leave it for 5 to 10 minutes?
No, it's fine. No, you just wait for your load balancer. Wait
So
for your
once
wait for your target group. You go to the target group.
Yeah.
And click refresh.
It's still.
Yeah, sometimes it takes time. And if it's still showing that, so the register that target and add it back.
All right. So shall I
select
remove this and
just remove it.
Deregister and I will register it back. Now it's healthy. Yeah. So now when I check on the DNS, yeah, it's working fine.
Okay.
So
yeah, so don't.
That's.
So when you are working on it, that's why I always say don't do the steps ahead before the steps before it, because all those things can cause the issue, right? You understand? So your what the application load balancer is trying to write, and how you have to think about it is the application load balancer is trying to route traffic to the instance in your target group. So how the application load balancer does that is it looks for your index.php file. So when it calls that file, if that file, if everything is configured properly on your server, the file will return a 200 code or whatever, and that's how the application load balancer would know that your server is healthy to route traffic to. But at the point where you haven't connected your application to your database, the load balancer is making that calling that your PHP file, index.php file, and it is getting an error because the database connection is not there. You understand?
So what you suggest is like but first I have to finish all the EC2 installation, and after that we have to go and check the target group whether it is healthy or not, right?
Exactly. Don't check the
Exactly.
target group
Yeah.
until
Before
you have
yeah,
finished your
right.
installation.
Installation. All right. Got the
Because
point.
if you haven't finished your installation, 100% of the time your target group will show up unhealthy.
Unhealthy.
Yeah.
Unhealthy. All right. And so yeah, so I can so since it is deployed, like I have to just couple of steps remaining, like we have
Exactly.
to
You just need to do your SSL, right?
SSL and clean up the resource, right? So
Exactly.
so what I have done is like I am created a Medium article as well, so it's good for that's like I saw in internet, like most people who worked on AWS projects have worked on creating a Medium article and uh, showing their steps on how they have completed their project. So what your idea on that? Like it's a good thing to like document it, or like
No, it's good. I mean, it's good for you. So that way
yeah,
it helps you remember. And
remember, yeah,
it's also an additional way how you learn, because when you work on something and you document the steps, it helps you master it. I like
yeah,
it. And Medium is also a good way to get your name out there and your profile out
yeah.
there. Because, for
Well,
example, if you want to join the AWS, like if you are interested in joining the um, AWS Community Builder, one of the things they'll ask you is what was the latest, when was the last time you did anything on AWS, whether it's an article you wrote or something like that. So this is good for that if it's something you are interested in.
all right. And one more thing to clarify, like so after like I have done like what you have mentioned, like I have removed the net gateway and the resources which cost us the most money, and I was able to reduce the cost actually. So I only got around $94 last month.
Mhm.
So it
So,
like yeah. So basically the most costed services is RDS. So I stopped the instance,
mhm.
and for the EC2 also, I didn't terminate it. Actually, I stopped the instance. So for the
Mm.
EC2, if we stopped, we didn't get charged, right? So did we get charged if
No,
we?
you don't get charged, but the cost for your NAT gateway also goes on that EC2.
All right, NAT gateway. So if I
So if you
stop
click the,
that
if you,
EC2 and remove the NAT gateway, what about that then? Like we
oh,
won't be cost.
yes, if you stop the EC2 and you remove
Remove
the
the NAT
NAT
gateway.
gateway, you
Yeah,
won't get charged for it. You will
sure.
reduce your bill. So if you click on the plus under that Elastic Compute, it gives you the detail of
Yeah,
what
NAT gateway
resource.
is so most
So
NAT
you
gateway
can
is
see the
charged
NAT
$20.
gateway
Yeah.
cost majority of it. It wasn't even your EC2 instance. Your EC2 instance was just $5.
All right.
The NAT gateway was
Yeah.
$30. So make sure
So, yeah.
your NAT gateway, what I used to do is I just used to delete it if I need to step away. Then when I come
All
back
right.
to work on my project, I add it back.
Yeah, we'll create it again. So
Yeah.
RDS is also like if we stop that, stop it temporarily also, like we won't be getting charged, right?
Yes,
RDS
correct.
instance. All
Correct.
right.
But
So
understand that AWS, when you stop your RDS instance, AWS would only stop it for a week.
week. All right.
For 1 week. After 1 week, they are going to restart it. So you have to, if you
Or else
haven't worked, yeah, they will
we
restart
have
it.
to delete it permanently and create it again. So
No,
if
no,
that's the
no.
case.
Yeah, but don't delete your RDS. Just
All
stop
right.
it.
Yes. Stop
But
it.
you're not going to take 1 week not working on your project, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
you're fine. So
that's
yeah, they'll stop it for 1 week. After 1 week, they restart it, and you just have to stop it if you are not. But as long as if you are working on your project every day, you'll be fine. Because the moment you stop it, that's when your 1 week starts. So
and what about the ALB? Like it
yeah.
cost
So
around $30.
that one, since AWS is charging for the ALB, just I need to look at the cost for it. Is the AWS charging for how long you r- have it
Yeah, it
running, or do they charge you
500
for when
hours. It charged me around $13. So
500 hours? So okay,
yeah,
so it means they are charging you for it. So
so
that
we can delete the
also you
ALB
can,
and create it again then,
yeah,
like
you
that
can,
gateway.
correct. So because those services, there isn't any other way to do it. But the good news is by the time you get to your Terraform project, you won't have to worry about this, because when you are working on a Terraform project, if you need to step away, you just you run Terraform destroy to remove everything. And when you come back, you run Terraform apply, it will recreate everything up to the point where you left off. So that's the good thing about Terraform.
And in VPC also, I can see it was charged it based on the hours. So VPC,
So the VPC, I think that is the Natural Private Cloud.
the dev VPC we created for this project, like.
I think that was probably the Elastic IP, probably something in the VPC, but AWS don't charge for VPC, I don't think.
All right.
So that might be the
Elastic IP.
the Elastic IP you are using to
Yeah,
run your NAT gateway. That's
I
what
did
they're
that.
charging you.
Maybe for that.
Yeah.
So and this like so for the previous project, I purchased that Route 53 domain name with my own DNS. So for that, it cost me around $30. So 30 or something, $35 or something. And so that will be available like until this account is available, or like, or it is limited to 1 year or something like that. I mean that URL, like the what is we call registered domains. So I purchased that. So that's I mean that's permanent, right? I mean like I got it. So we can check that.
The domain name is going to be permanent in your account, but only for a year. Every year you have to renew your domain name. So
every year.
Just,
so 1 year.
how, yes, for 1 year. So you can see the billing over there up the, no, okay, not here. But if you go to your Route 53, you'll see your registry. But don't go there now since you are sharing your screen, because it might, your personal information might be there. But
all right. So yeah.
but when you go in there, look at it. But domain name is every year. It renews every year. Another option is, and you guys can let me know, is there anywhere where someone can get free domain? Is there free domain, such thing as free domain? Sometimes people register their domain elsewhere. So let's say your AWS domain name costs you $35. After a year, you don't want to pay another $35. You can probably register a domain name at GoDaddy or some other registration thing where it is cheap or free. Then you can now import that domain name into your AWS and use it. That's what some people do too. So look in the chat, Matt, Ade and some Ahmed, who just posted that. Chinoye and Ade posted like 2 sites where you can get free domain name.
So yeah, that's okay. So the one more thing is like I have already completed 3 projects now. So what I have, so recently I graduated in software engineering, so I am like passionately willing to get into a cloud jobs actually. So I was planning, like, since I have done 3 projects, I could have prepared the CV and like applied for specific jobs. So I'm targeting to apply specifically in US. So do you have any suggestions? Like I can apply through Indeed, right? So, or else do you have any suggestions specifically to get the offers? Like
yeah, so you can there's different, everyone use different sites, right? You have to try which one works for you, but the one that I use is Indeed as well. So I use Indeed. So there is Glassdoor, there is ZipRecruiter, there is LinkedIn, right? So you just have to try which one works for you. But I will also say the 3 projects that you worked on are just the basic
ones,
the understanding you need to have. You need to also understand how to deploy. If anything, if anything else, you need to understand how to deploy this same application using Terraform. And also understanding it, how to deploy it using Docker. So because those are when you get to interview, a lot of the things they are going to ask you is going to center around automation, right?
Automation, Docker and ECS and like that, right?
Yeah. So ECS,
so what I have planned was like in so what I have planned was like I have already finished these 3. So so I can include it in CV, and at this meantime, like I will go through these one by one.
Sure.
and finish it. So
Sure.
what I have planned is after finishing this third project, like you have created this part, right? So how to prepare and start applying for work. So I can so India, I guess you will be talking about CV, I guess, like on how to prepare for interviews and all. And do you have any CV template that you would recommend to apply for the first job? Like, I mean, like, is there any specific template they expect for a cloud engineering position? Oh,
Yeah, it's in there. It's in there.
it's in there, right? So yeah, it's
So
in
if
there.
you look on
So
that video, yeah, I have it there.
this
So
one, all
I
right.
even have
Oh,
the file there that you can download.
all right. And Aziz, so I think you'll be working in US, right? So what are the job opportunities currently in US? So specifically in New York or something like that. So are there any good opportunities for the cloud engineering position? Like
Oh
because
yes.
I might have a plan on migrating to US by this year. So like that's why I'm asking that. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
is
The job here is awesome. There's a lot of cloud jobs here. You
cloud
can't
jobs
go
there,
wrong.
right?
You can't go wrong with tech jobs in the US. There's a lot of tech jobs. I haven't applied in a while, so I haven't looked online to see the job. But what I always say is when it comes to tech, you guys don't have to
Yeah,
worry about jobs because there will always be tech jobs. With the way we depend on technology so much, tech job is never going away. So what sets people apart from getting jobs, right, is developing your skills. So once you
skills. Yeah,
continue to develop your skills and you are confident in yourself that you are one of the best tech engineers that is out there, you will always get a job, always.
understand.
So
And
so there is jobs. There is jobs.
all right.
I mean, but I haven't
So.
applied in a while, so I can't tell you specifically where to go look for them. But I'm
So
sure if
when
you
I
look on,
so when I applying, like since I have worked on AWS, so I prefer to work only on like AWS. So like I was not interested in Azure and GCP. So like so we when I'm searching through the jobs, do I need to we can filter it with the AWS jobs, or like when we search the cloud engineer, so we can filter it as
yes,
a AWS cloud engineer or something like that and search specifically, right?
yes. So when you search for, you can search AWS Cloud Engineer. You'll see all the jobs,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
So
All
when
right.
you start going through the requirements for each job, look
Yeah.
at their requirement and see what they are asking for.
Yeah.
If they want you to know AWS, they'll tell you AWS. If they want you to know AWS, Azure, and GCP, they will also mention it there. So,
All right. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you can search for AWS Cloud Engineer, but
Mm.
sometimes the result comes with Azure as well. So
All right.
just read the job requirement. They will let you know in there whether they want you to know multiple
Yeah.
cloud or they just want you to know AWS. So
Yeah. But I heard one thing like since the cloud provider is different, the cloud fundamentals and concepts are same, right? So
it is.
like
They are the
yeah.
same.
So like so
They are the same. So you
they are the same.
can,
Yeah.
yeah. So you might just have to learn um what VPC is called, for example, in
Yeah.
Azure, right?
Azure. All right. Yeah.
And how to configure it. But the concepts of VPC, public and private subnets, security groups, load balancer, auto scaling group, those things are the same. The concept is the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah. Because I had started to learn AWS because like I heard that 70% of the market share of most in the world, like they mostly use the AWS. Like Azure is about 20% and GCP is about 10%. So the market value of AWS is higher. So uh, like the people and the reviews said like learning AWS is a good option compared to others. So that's why I started learning AWS actually. So let's see like
Yeah. Yeah. So you just go through those requirements for the job. You'll get
yeah,
a understanding of it. But at some point, once you it's something is on my definitely on my list of stuff to do this year. I've been trying to do it, but I keep pushing it back. It's also to learn Azure, add Azure skills. So maybe
Azure. All
the challenge will be, right, once you are done with AWS, this same project, try to deploy them in Azure, right?
Oh,
Right. So that would be one of the fastest way to learn it.
all right. Okay. So are there any like many companies that use AWS in US? Like, I mean, what is the like most of companies use? So what? I mean, like your company also most probably used AWS, right? Are they
My
using
company,
still
we
use
use AWS and Azure.
Azure? So,
Yeah,
but you will be
so
working specifically in AWS, or you are working both in Azure as well?
we used to just work. I used to just work on AWS, and they had other
Yeah,
engineers that just worked on
work
Azure.
on Azure. All right.
But last year when we had a new
Yeah,
manager, he changed everything. So now he wants us to work on AWS and Azure. So I have to learn Azure. They haven't started assigning me work in Azure as much, but they started, but I
okay.
haven't worked extensively in Azure. But this year
Yeah.
they want everyone working on both. So they don't want there is no AWS engineer and Azure engineer. They want everyone working on both. So
All right. So can I
so
know your company name? I mean, like, what's the name of your company? Like,
I'm not gonna say it here, but I can type it to you.
all right. Yeah, sure. That's fine. So, yeah, just wanted to like get some idea. So what are the companies available? Right. So what you were saying was like there is no like limitations in US for cloud jobs, right? So we can if we can apply and we can
Yeah,
since
if
we
you
have
can
done the
apply and
projects.
exactly if you can apply and you can prove your skills that you are
Yeah,
good, you get a job. There's a lot of jobs.
lot of
There are a
jobs.
lot of jobs. Yeah. So I don't
So
think
in
there's limitations on the job.
so in all states we can get the cloud jobs, right? So are there any limitations specifically to, if, for example, is there any limitations when it's come to New York or like something like that? So like, are there any states like which offers has high cloud jobs or something like that?
I don't know. When you search online, then when you
All
are
right.
looking for your job, you
Yeah.
can filter it by the states. That
States.
it
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
automatically gives you it will
Yeah. That's
automatically
also.
give you how many jobs are there. But from what I understand, New York is like a tech hub to it's kind of like Silicon Valley and other like
Yeah.
or
But it's
Austin.
expensive to live as well, right? Their living cost is high, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of tech jobs in New York. So I don't think um you have any issue finding tech jobs in New York. So
All
um
right.
but all those
All right.
things you can filter through the job search when you are looking at it. You can filter through it.
Okay, yes, yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
No
Okay.
problem.
All right.
No problem. So are
Baba,
they
Babajide, I send you a message so you can just let you know. Sorry, Aziz.
no, you're fine. You're fine. So Babajide, did you hear what I just said? Said sent you a message. If you're still there. Maybe maybe he stepped away. Um Ade, I haven't worked on that internal load balancer stuff before, but I'm reading what Ahmed wrote. Used for to balance internal loads typically. So thank you, Ahmed. So is it different from so when you well, I don't know, I need to do a research on it and I don't probably sound like a well, not even probably sound like a rookie. So Ahmed, so is it like application load balancer? You know how when we create an application load balancer, we can pick whether we want it to be internet or internet facing. Is that what that is referring to, or is this a entirely new, different type of load balancer altogether?
So this is mostly, in my opinion, in Azure, the way Azure kind of work. So they have a load balancer, which is usually public facing. Like you said in AWS, you have an option to select internal or public facing.
Mm-hmm.
In Azure, you don't have that option. It's specifically one load balancer as a whole. So that load balancer, you can decide or not whether to have a public IP, which will be public facing. And you can now use another load balancer, the same one, but this time around, you will choose not to use a public IP. technically you're making it internal. So that is why they call it internal.
Oh,
But yeah, essentially it just doesn't have a public IP, and it has a private IP to balance, let's say, workload that are either, let's assume you have a spoke VPC or VNet. Those things that will peer to the original VPC. So that's internal load balancer will balance workload that are in the spoke VPC or VNet. Let's say the web server and everything. Yeah, so that is usually how it works.
Understand. Yeah. So Ade is this is just a load balancer. It's the same way as your other load balancer that you've always created, except for like what Ahmed is saying, it doesn't have access to the internet. And I've seen, it's not something I've configured before, but I've seen architectures where, like what Ahmed is saying, there's that internal load balancer that is routing traffic to applications in another VPC, all inside the network, but there will still be a public load balancer if they wanted to have access to the internet. But in the architecture that I've seen, it is just a load balancer that is only routing traffic in the VPC and not to anything outside of it. But it's not something I've configured before myself. But I don't think it should be that complicated at all. Yeah. So, okay, cool. Yes, Ahmed, I do have plans on working on the Azure stuff. So, just if I can stop procrastinating on it, then. But it's something I'm going to start. I'm going to start to. I have a list of things that I want us to do this year. So, but the Azure stuff is definitely part of it. All right. Does anyone else have any question?
Yeah, AZ. I was working on a host dynamic application with Kubernetes. I left it alone. I couldn't figure it on out. I did one project, then I came back to it. And can I share my screen?
Sure.
I can show you. I'm getting the same thing as I think his name is Mahab. And put this down. See, I'm getting unhealthy, and I heard you tell him to delete his target group, well, not delete, deregistered and re-registered. But my problem is, I think it's the name of it.
Why is your tag group on LT? Can you check what is it saying? What error code is it giving you?
Okay, all right.
It's just saying failed out check.
Yeah, I believe it was the name, because I didn't change this to rent zone. I kept it as shop walls, but in my here I kept it as Shopwise, and I just changed all the configuration to Shopwise for the name and the deployment.
But it could be anything that is I'm just trying to understand. So that EC2 instance that is there, what is it? Kubernetes that created that EC2 instance?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can see. So the error could come from anywhere. It could be your Docker image is not working, right? It could be from your Docker image. It could be go into your, you have to, I don't think you'll be able to tell here. You have to go into your Kubernetes cluster and see if there is any issue there as well. Oh, yeah. All right. So you can see there's one node held. So select the devices that work on this project. So select what is under resources. I think where we want to go is compute. So scroll down. And AWS has changed it around, so you can see scroll down to where those pods are. Let me see. Select that range zone deployment. So you can see it says the status is pending. So that's where the issue is. But I know when I was doing this, the status is pending. It has to do with that naming thing, right? It has to do with your name, your start
My secret manager.
when you were no, not your secret manager, but in your deployment file when you were running your deployment and your workspace and all that stuff is probably not matching. So your pod has not been deployed yet.
Right.
That's why.
Mm.
So click on that drop down, that range on that container. On that range on, let's see. All right. So scroll down here. Okay, you can see right there. That's the error.
The problems set up failure volume. Secret storyline inline. So it is my secret manager.
Yeah. So make sure when you're configuring that secret manager part that you are actually doing the right thing. That all your references match. So I have to go and look at it and see how I did it. Then I can help you. But obviously, this is where the error is coming from. It is not mounting it, and that is why it is failing.
Gotcha. But okay, I'm gonna delete the secret manager. I'm gonna do it all over again. I'm gonna give it the name rent zone. But when I give it the name rent zone, do I still have
Because
the
specifically where you need to look is in your deployment. So let me look at that. No, see that secret provider file. That's the one that is connecting to your secret, right? So
right?
select that one, please.
Uh,
No, the third file down, the secret provider. The next one. That one. Right.
see, I have it shop wise.
Right. So whatever name you have there also has to match what is in your deployment.
Ah, okay. So
So
this name,
they just not random name.
right?
So you have
So this
shopwise
name,
there, and you have namespace range zone, then you have shopwise thing. So so you see over there where and I have to just go and review it again so I understand exactly, because I only did this Kubernetes project one time when I made the video for you guys. So so you see on line 18, right? The name, right? So scroll down. So line 20, that is the secret manager part, right? So look at the example that I did, because in this deployment file, it is connecting to that your secret provider. So check my reference, see what I put there. The names has to match, because that's how you're telling your deployment that that's the uh that's
for line
the
for line 18 and for line 18, line 20, but line 20 is reference to line 18. That's what you're trying to say?
no line. Scroll down a little bit more so I can see the what is at the bottom. Okay. Hold on. I have to find my Kubernetes thing and I have to look at my file how I did it. Yeah, but the names are not just random names. They make
Right.
connections to each file. So when you are changing them, you just have to make sure that you
I understand that, but I was even though see the thing is I did this before and I had it at rent zone, but I wound up changing the shopwise. And when I changed it to shopwise, I said, okay, well I'm gonna leave it as shopwise in my secret management file. So in the project, I was just going by what you had for as reference rent zone, and I was changing it to shopwise. That's why it's here and it's up here. Well, it's just well, it's just here.
no, I'm just trying to see my file.
But if I was to go to like the secret management file, I can just change the secret management file to rent zone. But I was trying to leave it as shopwise and try to have everything configured so it can run how it's supposed to. It let me run it when I open up a terminal, but it it ran it, but it's like it's not seeing it. And I believe that's the reason why that I'm getting a bad health check.
Yeah, so but I just don't want. Okay, so can you put that that secret file, put it, drag it to the right side of your screen so you can, so I can see both the secret file and the deployment file the same way. No, don't do it that way. Do it in your, no, not like that.
Like
Is
what?
also in your, I'm talking about your Visual Studio Code. You just need to drag that file to the right side of your screen.
Okay.
So take that tab for that secret, drag it, hold it and drag it to the right side. You'll see the preview. So click on it, click on click on that secret one, hold and drag it. Are you using a mouse or are you using your keypad?
I'm using uh I'm using my laptop.
So you're using, so click on it and hold it.
Yeah,
So where the name is at the top, click on it and hold it. No, you have to click up there and hold it. No, where your mouse is, where up there, where that is, right?
right here.
So you know what, just click on, you see those thing up there, right here, and go to the right side of your screen. Move all the way. Click on that thing that looks like a book. Click on that. Let's see. So close that, but you select your secret file and click on that thing again. Close that first. Close the deployment. The one that just split. Close that. Not that one. The other one. Okay. Well, this will work too. I'm just comparing it. I'm just looking at my file. So I think on your, let me review this one first. So the most important thing is, even with what you are what is going on, that you also pretty much understand what is going on there. But I think online in your secret provider file, in your secret provider file on line 4, I think there is a default value for AWS Secret Manager. I think that is what goes there. I don't know if that's a random name. Let me just check. Second.
No, that's you had that name, rent zone. You kept all the name. You kept all the names of the name on
Okay.
line 4 for your secret manager. You named it as rent zone, but I was keeping, since I did this already. I kept it as shopwise dash app.
Okay. Okay. Let me AWS secret. Let me just look it up real quick. AWS secret AI ring. Then on 25. Sure. I know it has to do with your secret, so I was just trying to find where the issue is. So, and this secret is in your, can you send that error to me? That error that is on your management console. No, it's in here. It wasn't, you have to go back to, it was in your Kubernetes cluster, not on the EC2 instance.
Okay.
And also when you run the command to mount uh your secret, did the command execute successfully?
Right. You want me to send this to you?
Yeah. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
So you sent to me?
Yeah, I sent it. I put it in the Slack.
Okay. I don't see. Wait, did you send to me directly? Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think it's either one of. So it says fail. It fails fetching your. Oh, I see. So even in this error, so it's like an access denied thing. So your Kubernetes cluster role, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your Kubernetes cluster role. Let me show you.
Oh.
Because when I pasted, that's when I saw the whole thing. So you just have to review the role your Kubernetes cluster is using. What am I doing? Hold on, let me share my screen. So you can see here, it has all these things. So fail to mount secret for this, right? Error code. So you can see here, failed fetching secret. So it's trying to fetch this secret. Failed fetching it because there's an access denied. So it's saying this user with this ARN, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is not authorized to perform secret manager get secret value on resource that. So how you can start troubleshooting is you have to go to your Kubernetes role. So a good way to go find it is this is the ARN, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the ARN. So you have to go look for this row with this ARN. This row with this ARN, sorry, right here.
Okay.
So the best way
right.
to find it is just this one. If you type this, it might bring it up for you. I think you probably call it. So let me stop sharing, then you can share, and we can look at it real quick. Someone asked me, do I prefer Claude to ChatGPT? Yes, I do. Claude in the beginning, ChatGPT was much better, but Claude is like I was using Claude. I started using Claude more when I worked on the Node.js application, and I'm very much blown away by it. It is so good. What I like about it is, and I have some questions here that I asked it, and I can find specific one. I give you an example. What I like about it is when I asked it a question, whether it's me sending it a screenshot or something, it will tell me, okay, go in this directory in your file, show me what is in that file. So I'll send what is in that file. Then it'll say, okay, go in this other directory, send me what's in that file. I'll send it. Then it would say, oh, okay, I see the error in your file. You need to update this. So the application code, when I deploy the Node.js app, the application code had some type of error in it because whoever wrote it didn't really write it for AWS, right? But it was just the database connection. So I don't know how to write a Node.js app, but I need to fix it so I can deploy what I need to deploy. So that was when I was using Claude. So it had me go in the Node.js app, told me exactly where to change, even wrote it. It was like, okay, in this file, write it like this. And it pretty much helped me write the Node.js code, how it needs to be written so I can deploy it on RDS. And when I was pasting the same question in ChatGPT, ChatGPT was just giving me it was giving me good ideas, but it wasn't directing me where I need to go to solve the problem. It was just like it will be this, it will be that, it could be potentially this. It was just giving me a whole bunch of stuff that I need to sort through. So I didn't like that part. But Claude was telling me specifically where to go and what to change.
Would you
how
say
much is Claude?
It's $20 as well.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, all right. I get Claude then if they can pinpoint the problem.
What I was going to ask was, because I feel like with these all these AI platforms, I think some are specific for certain type of like troubleshooting. Because I noticed like U.com will do a lot more with the SQL side of things as compared to ChatGPT. So if you're saying Claude is way better, probably Claude might be better in terms of like more so with the infrastructure side of things.
I agree. I still use ChatGPT, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like Claude is just better at everything.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like code troubleshooting, Claude did help me a lot better than ChatGPT.
Okay, I will definitely try to get it as well. So it's the same $20 a month.
Yeah, it's $20 a month. So let me find some of those things that I was troubleshooting.
So is it specific to AWS or it could be used for Azure as well?
No, it could be used for Azure. It's just like an AI tool. It's just like for ChatGPT. It's but AWS invested in this company. So
exactly. I was thinking it will be friendly with other cloud services.
No,
it is.
I use it with Azure and it's very nice as well.
It is.
Oh, okay.
It's
Thank
very
you so
friendly.
much, guys.
So let me look for some of those things I was telling you, some of the questions I think it was probably this one. And another thing I like about it is sometimes it will write your code for you, and it would have it. I will have the file ready that you can just download the file. So you can see here where. So you can see here where it is. I sent when I had a whole bunch of questions, and every single time it would just tell me exactly look at how short the response is, and it will tell me exactly what is wrong in what file. Sometimes if it needs to see, okay, so here when I was deploying the app, right? I deployed the app, but when I sign in, it is not redirecting to the sign-in page. It was just staying on this page. So I was asking it, and I told it, I was like, yeah, when I click sign in, it's just staying on this page. And it knew exactly what I was talking about. So it told me, go into you know how you can inspect what you are doing and see the error. It told me to get that, send that to him. It's just very good with how it helped me solve the problem. And ChatGPT didn't just give me a whole bunch of. I guarantee if I paste this in ChatGPT and paste this in Claude, they both giving me different things. So when I paste this here, it was telling me, okay, go in this file, the login file, and change this there. So I like Claude a lot. I think since they came out, they've improved a lot. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
I think if I just jump in a little bit, I think that Claude had scored better on the benchmarking portion when they rated them. They did like a benchmarking against all of them, and Claude was scoring a little bit better and
Oh, wow.
coding in the coding section. But I think ChatGPT they're proposing soon to be releasing another model. So
Yeah.
but I like that if you get, like I was telling you last week or the week before, if you get like GitHub Copilot, or you get like Tab 9, you get access to all the models, so you can run them and see which one give you the better results.
I see. Oh yeah, that's good. So that's a good way to test it out too. So you guys, yeah, I'm trying to get that Tab 9, and I'll start using it, because now I just do go back and forth like this,
Yeah,
and
and
from
what I would add to there is that on the AI system ones, it's viewing your code, so it can look at what you're doing and
exactly,
give you suggestions based off the code right there in front of it. So
exactly. So instead of instead of having to go copy what is in a file, you can see the entire file structure. Can you
yeah,
see subdirectories and file structure, or does it only see what I have presently have open on my screen?
so according to the documentation, with tab 9, it tries to use more privacy, but you can like open it up and say view everything, and it will look at everything, and then it will make suggestions right
Okay.
there based off that. With GitHub Copilot, it does that automatically.
Oh, I
So
see.
so it's intentional. So it's going to look at your directory, everything, and say, okay, you look like you've been trying to do this based off, what I've been trained on. I'm going to go with this and suggest. It's very intentional what it's doing.
Quick one, please. Are you saying the extension can be installed in like VS Code and it will have access to all the directory of the code for the Copilot one?
Yes, that's what some of these AI that they do. They actually look at what you doing also and try to help you from there. I was watching some YouTube thing with a guy, and he was showing Copilot and some other one, and he was actually doing it, and that's what the thing was actually taking his architecture and improving it. Some of them actually do that.
So the whole idea about AI is pretty much your machine. Let's just go to a simple phone. It's actually looking at what you're doing. It looks at what you're doing for the day, and then it's learning from you. It's picking that up and it's learning. Hey, he gets it. It gets it. Like when I take my daughter to Kumon on Tuesdays, it's on a certain day. Let's say I leave the house at probably around like 2:30, and then I leave and then I come back. So whenever I get into my car, it will tell me that, hey, yes, from the drive distance from here to Kumon now, it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because it knows that I've been doing this for a while now. So that's the whole idea. The machine will learn from you, and then it generates other answers now later on based off of what it's been used to. Daniel will leave the house at around 2:30 every day. So now my goal is to find different routes for Daniel to see what's going on. That's what he does.
Yeah, I would add one more part.
Can you share that link with me, please?
I would add one more quick thing to it. So like with GitHub, it looks at all the GitHub repositories, all of them. It's been trained on all of them. So if it sees a pattern that you're going at, it will start to go ahead and create the whole context of it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, why I'm asking is because I am working on this insane project with networking, and I have a couple of code written in Azure, and this code are in my VS Code. So I was thinking there is some misconfiguration with the way the networking is, and perhaps there could be some app like the Copilot that could go through each individual file for the Azure and see if something is misconfigured. So it's hard to tell which exactly is the issue here. So maybe with an AI tool, you can kind of make recommendation on the way the file is structured and the way the codes are written in each file. So I hope I could find one.
Yeah, and I think if you have an issue with a file, you can grab that file and throw it into the Copilot. Say, what did this file look like? Is it working? Is there any errors in there? And it will give you suggestions. It'll let you know if it's good or not. If it's not, so I've done that with Tab 9. I've done it with GitHub, and it will do that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
And Aziz, I was going to ask you, are you using the upgraded version of Claude? Because I'm
Yes.
trying to like save money just so I don't have that on ChatGPT and also have that on Claude.
Yes, I'm paying for it. So it's $20 one.
For Claude, are you doing the same for ChatGPT or you're just using that for like just the basic one?
No, I'm paying for both. I pay for
Yeah,
ChatGPT and Claude. Yeah.
it makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, and I started, like I said, I started using Claude even when I was troubleshooting my Docker container. Claude helped me resolve it. It's just very good at pinpointing exactly where you need to go. And let me see if I can find that too. There was just one time when I was is this one? Yeah, I can't remember. There was something I was doing. It found exactly where it was a whole directory, it was a whole folder that was missing from my application code. And there's no way I would have known that the folder is missing if Claude, because I've been troubleshooting. I was like, everything, my script looks right, everything looks right. But when I was adding the files to my GitHub repository, there is a git ignore file in that the whoever wrote the code out there that it told it to ignore one folder. And that folder didn't add that folder into my GitHub repository. And Claude said, oh, your vendor folder is missing. Looking at this error, your vendor folder is missing. And I went to my repository, I went to check, and I noticed that it's missing. It was so I'm telling you, it works very well when it comes to code troubleshooting. When I was even doing my stock analysis, some of the stocks it was picking for me was pinpoint doing really, really good. But you can't ask it about tell me what stock is going to do. It's going to tell you, I'm not going to do that for you. I'm not supposed to tell you what to do. They would deny you. But there are ways you can ask it questions. You can give it a list of stock and tell it like, based on these technicals, what do you think? And it will tell you, oh, this based on based on the data you're giving it will give you reliable information based on the data. So if you find a good information about stock that you can give it, it will give you a good information. Because all this stock technical, I don't know how to interpret them. So if I find a good technical stuff on certain stocks, I'll give it to it, and it will use that data to tell me, okay, these stocks look better, then I'll do more research on it. So
And I think
I like it a
you're right.
lot.
Yeah, you're right, because the better prompts you feed into these AI tools, the better response you get.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll use Claude. So sorry, Dylan, you can share your
It's all
screen.
good. It's all
So
good.
the issue you were having is just
The role.
the row. Yeah. So you need to just review that row. Make sure that row has access to. Let me paste that error here so you can see it again. I don't like this one. Let me do it again the way I like how Claude was pasting it. Okay, here.
And
So you need to go and look for this row. This row, it is called your secret store CIS driver provider AWS. Right. And in that row, you want to make sure it has secret manager get secret value. And also you have to make sure that this secret does exist. Sometimes it may not be the row, it may just be the secret. So that's the issue you are having there. So you're going to do that and get back to me, or what do you want to do?
we can do it right now if you want to.
Okay, we can review. Yeah, share your screen, we can review it. Let me stop sharing.
You can see it.
Yeah.
I believe the role was
So type AWS. No, stay in your role. Then just type AWS. Secret manager, or type secret manager. No, that won't work. Type secret manager, let's say. Remove the AWS and just it won't work that way. Because your role, it needs to match something. So type secret manager in there. I know at least, no, not in that simply she was typing it. So no, type it in there. Yeah, secret manager. It's not gonna work because see how that space in it and it's capital letter, but you just type secret manager. That's not gonna work because that doesn't match anything either. Yeah, so yeah, remove the manager from it for now. Yeah, remove the S as well. This S and secrets. Refresh. So you know what? Just go to your Kubernetes cluster and let's just get the role from there. Because it's the role that is attached to your Kubernetes cluster. So you probably find a role on the so select that port. Let me see. I think the role will be in your cluster, but go up, let's see. So service be somewhere here. What is before next to resource? What is there? The tabs over there. Yeah, what is there? Overview. Yeah. All right. So right there, IAM row. What's that row? No, if you click on it, it will take you view IAM, view in IAM. It will take you to it.
See, is okay, yeah. Is a rent zone EKS cluster role. That's all this
Okay.
configure right.
So, but there's the other row. The other row I was talking about was a different name. So, but I think it's like an inline row.
And no, yeah, all that's right.
So, let me see the deployment thing. I noticed something that you ran that you're missing.
You want to see my deployment?
No. I'm talking to myself. I'll check.
Oh, okay. See, I'm thinking it's the secret manager. I'm thinking it's the secret manager.
So
Well, what?
first go into your secret manager, make sure that this secret name and that ARN is actually in your secret manager. Because it could be that. Because if the name is wrong, then it will say you can't find, it will say you're not authorized to.
Yeah. I think it is how you did it. You said Control F, right? Control F.
Yeah. So copy it and just
No, you ain't going there.
No, so go and that's where you have that in your VS Code or wherever that error is, right? You want to copy the ARM from there and come and press Control F in here and paste it there and see if it matches. So yeah, that reference you have for your secret here. That's going to close your whole window. So if you want to just close that tab right there. So you see the deployment. You can either drag it back there or you can close it here. So you can select that. No. You can copy the ARM from here and go paste it in your console and see if it match. But you're copying other stuff with it too, so you have to clean it up if you when you get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so then the issue is in the row then. So I think it's in the command you ran. So you probably review that command again because I'm looking at it here. So you need to find that row, secret store driver. So this is the name of the one, secret store driver. So secret store CIS driver row. Go to your Kubernetes cluster. See. I just need to figure out that row is created. So, but it's all in those commands, they all work. So so I'm pretty sure you're missing something somewhere. It should. And also, I don't see your cluster. I don't see that your cluster has, so click on that IAM row that is attached to your cluster. Click on that IAM row, the one we opened before. All right. So scroll down. So you can see this, your cluster only has one permission, which is the AWS cluster policy. I'm pretty sure I added the ECS cluster secret manager permissions to the cluster too. It's been a while, so I have to go look at it. So click here, right? So scroll down in here. If you keep scrolling down, or just type secret manager. Just type do Control F. I'm pretty sure it's not there. And just type secrets. RET. So you can see your cluster does not have secret manager access, right?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I added it to it. So that's why you can't, that role, that your cluster, when you run the command, your cluster can access your secret manager because there is no, so I'm pretty sure you're missing the role. So just add another policy to your cluster, like a secret manager full access policy. Then you might have to probably go do your deployment part again and it should work. Attach policy. Yeah. Type secret manager. So you can see we have secret manager access policy there that you created.
Right.
But I don't think you added to anything. So click on that plus on that rent zone secret manager access policy, the first one. Let's scroll down.
Oh.
So this
See
is
the
getting a
resource.
different,
Yeah.
this is getting a different resource. So pretty much your cluster needs this. So go back, watch those video. I'm pretty sure there was a point where we created that, okay, Ahmed, have a nice day. Happy New Year, bro. So, well, yeah, but I have to go too. So, just a second. Yeah, so, Dylan, so I'm sure there's a part where we add, that we create this secret manager access policy and we add it to your cluster role. So your cluster has access to secret manager. So that's what you are missing. That's why you can't, that's why that stuff is failing. So you need to create this secret, create the policy, then add it to your EKS cluster role, then run that deployment part again. It will work.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. I do have to go though, but is there anybody else that has any question before I go? Okay.
I'm gonna go back and look at the video and
yeah,
see what you did. I know I probably
I'll
don't
look at it too. I'll go and look at it and I'll
if it's
what's the name of that AI tool?
Claude.
Happy New Year, Mr. Henry. Happy New Year. I'll talk to you later.
I think it was Claude AI.
Okay.
Which,
Terra 9 or something like that.
Or tab 9. Tab 9.
Tab 9.
Yeah, tab 9.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, so Dylan, I'll also go and look and I'll find the specific video that I'm referencing and I'll let you know. But but that's the issue. It's just your cluster does not have access to secret manager.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right.
All right, bye guys.
Thank you everyone. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah, Dylan, what were you saying?
No. I was just asking if you was coming on next week.
Yeah. We're in the new year, so we're back at work.
Yeah, you already know.
All right. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Alice.